7:47 Central African Time, coming to you live from the studios here in Durban. Yes, business hour, doing business over time here. Alhamdulillah, as we all know that when we talk about business, and some of the most astute businessmen are the Muslim businessmen, perhaps many successful Muslim business families, that we can talk of that are still in business today, that have made an impression in the business world. Well, we're talking to Brother Ahmed Seedat, who's authored a book, Alhamdulillah, known as Prophets, Progeny and Politics. We're talking with Ahmed about a successful family business. Ahmed, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And how are you this fine, beautiful evening?
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum to all your listeners. Alhamdulillah. We cannot complain with Allah's du'as, with everybody's du'as. Allah is we are blessed. We make sugar for that.
Absolutely, Ahmed. As you said, everything through divine decree, and He keeps us on the straight and narrow and keeps us blessed. Looking at a successful family business, Ahmed, and gauging by your interest in this, looking at you are a successful businessman also, Ahmed.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. I've been in business for quite a few years. I've been through the process. I was involved in my formative years in our family-owned business, both my paternal side and maternal side of the business. And this book I've drawn from my experience. And the book is an invaluable resource for family businesses of all shapes and sizes. So, inshallah, it shares first-hand insights into the dynamics of family business and how to harness its strengths and overcome its weakness.
Mm-hmm. And Ahmed, you talk about family business because I'm my maternal side and my paternal side. I have cousins that are very deep into business, and the elder of the family, generally the father will always will rule the roost if there's a big business, and he makes a decision. And do you find that the family is kept on the straight and narrow because of the elders running, or the father will tell, if you had 5 or 6 sons, and you tell the third or fourth son, if you don't toe the line, I will not put you in my business. Do you discuss issues like this in your book, Ahmed?
We do discuss issues like this in the book. In the book, it talks about the eagle and the turkey syndrome, where we highlight certain kids want to be soar like the eagle. The other kids do not want to soar like the eagle. They want to behave like the turkey. They don't want to soar. And we have contentious issues like that. We also have what we found very interesting in the study, because this book originally is based on my thesis, my MBA thesis on the investigation into the leadership and managerial traits and styles of Indian family-owned businesses. And during the course of this research, we found that the matriarchs of the family were more the dominant, and the matriarchs were the glue, where they dealt within the confines of their home with the eagles and the turkeys.
Now, Ahmed, you talk about the matriarchs. So were they the partners whispering into the ears of the husband or the businessman?
Yes. In fact, we found that many prominent business people, when they took major decisions, you found that they always consulted their wife. And many of them, they did not take their wife's advice. They found that they ended up on the wrong end of the stick and the wrong end of the business transaction. To some, right now, some may be giggling, some may be laughing, but that's the reality. Because the wife, the spouse, knows the husband in his in and outs. They know his characteristics. They know his thinking, and they give the most sound advice to the husbands on major defining business decisions.
Ahmed, I'm finding you very interesting this evening. Alhamdulillah, really resonating with you. And as you said, behind every successful man, there is his wife. I mean, and maybe, sometimes marriage was arranged in such a way that even the wealth was kept, between family members, so that, outsiders couldn't get in. Do you discuss that issue also, or that type of equation?
We touch on it very subtly in the book. It's a very contentious issue, but the book Family Progeny Politics, it's an introduction to a series of books that will be coming out. And what we've done is that in this particular book, we gave an introduction to the various topics that which we'll be covering in the series of books that's coming through. And what you're talking, that's going to be highlighted. We've already highlighted in one of the next publications that we are doing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Ahmed, very interesting indeed. And, what are some of the politics you have seen in dealing with, family business? Perhaps you could add on a little more. Is it still like yesteryear, or have Muslim business or the Indian business evolved with the advent of technology?
In fact, the advent of technology has taken many Asian business people in South Africa and the African continent, instead of taking them forward, they have regressed. Because from the study, what we found was that many of them have implemented systems, ERP systems, software systems, but they did not analyze those systems. Back in the day, you found that the older generation, the orthodox business person, he always had control of his ledger. And currently, they have many of the businesses have lost control of the ledger. And what they're doing is that they're thinking that, I've got the system, I'll press a button, I'll have a look at something. But on a daily basis, they need to look at the ledger, they need to look at where the business is going. See, your business is like a motor car. You have a dashboard, and if you're driving your business at 80 kilometers an hour, you need to know whether you got additional petrol, your oil is right, your heat gauge is right. If you're not watching all those gauges in your business, you're going to have complications and issues. And that's what we are dealing with presently.
Ahmed, absolutely. When you look at the yesteryear, you must have your ledger. Everything was documented, every cent. I have a cousin that he does the same thing. And I said, but why do you write everything? He said, no, I inherited this from my father. And should my system crash here, I just go to my ledger or go to my book, and I know exactly what I did on that day, and it's all documented. So perhaps, you can use both the styles. Now, to conscientize people, what are you doing, Ahmed, for them to get to your book and perhaps purchase some of them?
What we're doing presently is that we are holding workshops, we are holding seminars. At the same time, with our existing clients, we are holding workshops with them and encourage them to introduce processes, principles, procedures, and have dashboards. Have something where they can benchmark. If you're benchmarking your business continuously, you know where you're going. If you do not benchmark, you'll find that you have no direction. In some cases, many people, what they look at, they want to chase sales. But how do you chase the sales? It's not about the sales. It's about how much is required to get the sales. Example, if you need to, in your business, you need to know what profit you're looking to achieve. You need to say, I've got X amount of capital. I need a return on investment more than what I'll get either in the bank or in other investments. So what happens is that many people do not benchmark against those figures, against those percentages. And what happens is that they go forward and they start chasing sales at the expense, and where they are achieving less than what they will achieve through other investments. And 9 out of 10 times we're finding that businesses are losing insight and they're losing direction.
Ahmed, yesterday, we had people looking, we're talking about the non-Muslims, they looked up at a Muslim businessman, and I alluded to the fact earlier on that they would come and even the valuables give it to a Muslim to take care of. Do we still have the same integrity? Do we still have the same business confidence, when it comes to non-Muslims judging a Muslim businessman? What's your take on that, Ahmed?
What I found is that they benchmark against across religion. Across religion, you find a lot of benchmarking taking place, and the benchmarking taking place is what the individual has achieved. They moved in that direction, and many of them to date, what we have is that we have like a coffee section. People certain business people, they meet from time to time and they discuss issues amongst themselves, but in a very general environment. And it's a very general talk. But back in the day, what used to happen in the past, I haven't seen that presently. But what I've seen is that a lot of like coaching, mentoring is taking place. People ask you, what happens if X happens or Y happens, whatever. But alhamdulillah, what we're finding is that there's a lot of integration among the Indian community, whether it's of different religions. And that is what we're finding that's very comforting presently in the times in South Africa, and as well as in different parts of Africa.
Yes, Ahmed, looking at the time, we got about 2 minutes. Your parting words for the listeners this evening, and perhaps you can even give them your contact details.
They can contact us. My parting is that the book is a must-read. It's a must-read for any business looking to build on the tenacity and strength and vision of its founding members, and to adapt and thrive in today's challenging environment. That's the essence of the book. Our contacting details is that you can contact me on AS, my initials AS, at ahmedseedat.co.za, or through our website, www.ahmedseedat.co.za.
Alhamdulillah, Ahmed, you're very magnanimous this evening. Nice chatting to you. Inshallah, we'll try and get you later on and see how your book progresses, inshallah.
Inshallah. Jazakallah for the opportunity.
You're most welcome, my brother. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, sir, that was Ahmed Seedat talking to us about his book. Yes, he says, Profits, Progeny, and Politics. It's a must-read, he says. Tenacity, and he'll teach you business strength there. Alhamdulillah, try and get that.
Live audio streaming and cutting-edge content anywhere, anytime. CII Radio, global voice for the global ummah.